I think the Wachowskis made Jupiter Ascending just so that anything they make after that will look amazing by comparison. Jupiter Ascending was bad. Welcome to Binge Watchers, where we talk about the stories and characters we love and the shows they live in. My name is Ron, and let's talk about the new Netflix original, Sense8. So if you watched the previous video I made about Sense8, you know that I was super excited for it. Sense8 has a fascinating premise. 8 people from different parts of the world find out that they're all connected. They can share feelings, thoughts, knowledge, and experiences. This cluster of 8 Sense8s is created when a Sense8 from another cluster dies. They never really explain why, but I don't think it really matters. So the show tells the story of each individual member of the cluster, the things they have to deal with in their private lives, and also an overarching story of them finding out what they are and people trying to get them for it. So first, the good. The art in this show is beautiful, and when I say art, I mean the cinematography, the sets, how everything looks and feels. Sense8 takes you to so many different parts of the world and they all look great. The absolute best part of the show is how the members of the cluster feel through each other and how they help each other in different situations. Like there would be one situation where a member of the cluster is in trouble, and that situation calls for a set of skills that one of the other members has, and that member will inject himself into that situation and will help the other one. And the way the scenes just seamlessly replace one character with another, it's really pretty amazing. I really don't think that it could have been done better. Unfortunately, the show never really takes off, never really gets going. From the beginning of the show, you get all of these separate scenes that at first don't have anything to do with one another, and that's fine, that's to be expected. There are 8 main characters. We need to know their stories, we need to know their lives. That takes time. But even when they start entering each other's lives, even by episode 9 out of 12, the show still just feels like blocks of separate scenes. And you're still waiting for them to advance the overall story that ties everything together. I mean, you do get the scenes that do that, but those are few and far between for way too long. Now, the individual stories are interesting. The characters are incredibly different from one another. And since this show focuses on character development more than anything else, they all go pretty deep. The action scenes are awesome. Every single fight that breaks out in this show is incredibly cool, especially when there are several members of the cluster involved. Something that might be a bit much for some people, me included, is the fact that this show is constantly hitting you over the head with varying degrees of dime store philosophy. And none of it's subtle and none of it's implied. Almost every scene where 2 characters are talking, it's just them exchanging philosophy slogans, and every other sentence beginning with sometimes. I mean, a lot of it might be really good food for thought alone by itself, but it just feels like they desperately wanted to sound deep and had all these deep thoughts, and they kind of jammed them into almost every scene, where sometimes it's not really called for. Which is a shame, because the actual interactions between the characters when they're just talking about their lives and getting to know each other, that's interesting. Show me more of that. I want to see that. Just stop with the introspection for 1 minute and talk, and when they do, it's good. My favorite deep line of deepness actually comes from a scene where they're shooting a movie, so they're actually making fun of this kind of writing, and I don't remember it exactly, but it's something along the lines of art is like religion. For the believers, it's everything, but for everyone else, it's just a pile of crap, or something like that. Anyway, it made me chuckle. So the stories and characters are one aspect of Sense8. Another is the issues it deals with. If you read some of the reviews on Netflix about this show, you'll see that a lot of the negative reviews just accuse the show of being gay propaganda. And if you're one of those people, then really, Sense8 as a show has a lot of problems. Problems with pacing, coherence, tying things together, and the general getting to the point part of things. But it is an important show. When TV shows have such a huge impact on our culture, it is important that we have shows where you have a gay character or a transgender character and they are treated exactly the same as the other characters. Sure, the show deals with them being gay or transgender, but just like it deals with the Indian character dealing with her family, or the African character dealing with harsh realities of living in Nairobi. Most shows where there's a gay character, the point of that character is to be the gay character on that show. But here, if there's a love story, it's a love story. It's not, ooh, look at the edgy gay love story. No, it's just love, and it's beautiful, and it's important. And when people say that something like that is LGBT propaganda, or black propaganda, or feminist propaganda, what you're actually saying is, shut up and give me a white, straight cast of male characters, because all these other guys are not as important, and they don't deserve to be recognized as equal parts of society, and I'm way too narrow-minded to deal with anything else. So, if you are that person, please stop being that person. Bottom line, should you watch it? So Sense8 has a great premise that never really reaches its full potential, and the sluggish pacing might make it difficult for some. But there are some wonderful characters and stories in there that, in my eyes, are worth getting to know and will be a good investment if there's a season 2. Pair that with some very impressive visual filmmaking and some important topics covered, and I'm mostly willing to forgive the boring parts and the fact that really only the 3 last episodes actually deal with the overarching story. Fair warning, there is a lot of nudity in this show and some very graphical personal scenes, so choose your binging buddy wisely. So have you watched or are you watching Sense8? Who is your favorite out of the 8 and why? Please leave your thoughts down below on the questions I just asked or anything else we discussed. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, it really helps out a lot. And if you're finding binge watchers for the first time, welcome. We're talking about TV every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with opinions and reviews and news and all kind of great stuff, all for you fellow binge watchers and TV lovers. So you can go ahead and click that big subscribe button to join in on the fun, or you can check out any of the other videos on the channel. In any case, keep binging, and I'll see you next time.